Croke Park is a Gaelic Games stadium in Dublin, Ireland, named after Archbishop Thomas Croke. It is sometimes called Croker by Ga fans and locals. It serves as both the principal national stadium of Ireland and headquarters of the Gaelic Athletic Association. Since 1891 the site has been used by the Ga to host Gaelic sports, including the annual All-Ireland in Gaelic football and hurling. A major expansion and redevelopment of the stadium ran from 1991 to 2005, raising capacity to its current 82,300 spectators. This makes Croke Park the third largest stadium in Europe, and the largest not usually used for association football in Europe. Other events held at the stadium include the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2003 Special Olympics, and numerous musical concerts. In 2012, Irish pop group Westlife sold out the stadium in record-breaking time, less than 5 minutes. From 2007 to 2010, Croke Park hosted home matches of the Ireland national rugby union team and the Republic of Ireland national football team, while their new Aviva Stadium was constructed. This use of Croke Park for non-Gaelic sports was controversial and required temporary changes to Ga rules. In June 2012, the stadium hosted the closing ceremony of the 50th International Eucharistic Congress, during which Pope Benedict XVI gave an address over video link. The area now known as Croke Park was owned in the 1880s by Maurice Butterley and known as the City and Suburban Racecourse, or Jones Road Sports Ground. From 1890 it was also used by the Bohemian Football Club. In 1901 Jones Road hosted the IFA Cup football final when Cliftonville defeated Freebooters. Recognizing the potential of the Jones Road Sports Ground, a journalist and Ga member, Frank Deneen, borrowed much of the £3,250 asking price and bought the ground in 1908. In 1913 the Ga came into exclusive ownership of the plot when they purchased it from Deneen for £3,500. The ground was then renamed Croke Park in honor of Archbishop Thomas Croke, one of the GAA's first patrons. In 1913, Croke Park had only 2 stands on what is now known as the Hogan Stand side and grassy banks all round. In 1917, a grassy hill was constructed on the railway end of Croke Park to afford patrons a better view of the pitch. This terrace was known originally as Hill 60, later renamed Hill 16 in memory of the 1916 Easter Rising. It is erroneously believed to have been built from the ruins of the GPO when it was constructed the previous year in 1915. In 1918, the Ga set out to create a high-capacity stadium at Croke Park. Following the Hogan Stand, the Cusack Stand, named after Michael Cusack from Clare, was built in 1927. 1936 saw the first double-deck Cusack Stand open with 5,000 seats, and concrete terracing being constructed on Hill 16. In 1952 the Nally Stand was built in memorial of Pat Nally, another of the Ga founders. 7 years later, to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Ga, the first cantilevered, new Hogan Stand was opened. The highest attendance ever recorded at an All-Ireland Senior Football Championship final was 90,556 for Offaly Wee Down in 1961. Since the introduction of seating to the Cusack Stand in 1966, the largest crowd recorded has been 84,516. On the 21st of November 1920, during the Irish War of Independence, Croke Park was the scene of a massacre by the Royal Irish Constabulary. The police, supported by the British Auxiliary Division, entered the ground and began shooting into the crowd, killing or fatally wounding 14 civilians during a Dublin-Tipperary Gaelic football match. The dead included 13 spectators and Tipperary player Michael Hogan. Posthumously, the Hogan Stand, built in 1924, was named in his honor. Those shootings, on the day which became known as Bloody Sunday, were a reprisal for the killing of 15 people associated with the Cairo Gang, a group of British intelligence officers, by Michael Collins' squad, earlier that day. In 1924, American rodeo promoter Tex Austin staged the Dublin Rodeo, Ireland's first professional rodeo at Croke Park Stadium, for 7 days, with 2 shows each day from August 18 to August 24. Sell-out crowds saw cowboys and cowgirls from Canada, the United States, Mexico, Argentina and Australia compete for rodeo championship titles. Canadian bronc riders such as Andy Lund and his brother Art Lund. Trick riders such as Ted Elder and Vera McGuinness were among the contestants. British Pathé filmed some of the rodeo events. In 1984, the organization decided to investigate ways to increase the capacity of the old stadium. The design for an 80,000 capacity stadium was completed in 1991. Gaelic sports have special requirements as they take place on a large field. A specific requirement was to ensure the spectators were not too far from the field of play. This resulted in the 3-tier design from which viewing games is possible. The main concourse, a premium level incorporating hospitality facilities and an upper concourse. The premium level,